Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on Ravenport. We are going to carry straight on from where we left off in the last episode, so let's get to it. There's a root crop currently in field 8, the biggest field, I think it's field 8, and unfortunately the root crop means that we're going to need to plough the field in order to get maximum yield. And I would like, the aim is to be able to get our huge, great big field up there. And I would like to be able to have our big field up there get maximum yield, right? I think that would be a good thing. Okay, open, so I just need to press N on this one. Now, is this seed in this first bit, or is this fertilizer in this bit? I'm not actually sure, so I'll bring it up here next to the seed one. Like that. Okay, I'm pressing R on there, and alright, R is giving me nothing. I'm not getting any refill on that at all. It might be that I've got to press I, but I don't think so. Okay, let me open the next cover and see if that's the one that we want. Ah, right. There's seed. So we're loading that one up already there with seed, and there's plenty going in, and the money is ticking down, but we're 25%, and we've spent a reasonable amount of money, so 7,000 litres of seed. We're going to use a lot of seed. I'll stop it in a minute, I think. We'll go with a stop there. Right. And then close cover. That'll close it up completely there. Then if I press N again, that will go to the first cover, like that. So that's the one that we put the fertilizer into. So we'll go up here. I know I'm out driving on my big field of stuff, and we really wouldn't want to. Is that? I think that's actual fertilizer right there. Fantastic. Okay, we've got free fertilizer here. That, what did we have this in? Oh, of course, that was in the big planter thing, wasn't it? I've got some fertilizer and some... Ah, ideal. That's good. That's a really good thing. Okay, let me bring that up here. I've got some fertilizer and some seed here that is going to go in for free, which is perfect. So I'll put that into there. Load that bit up. And the next... Oh, I've got to get closer than that. Okay. Okay. It really doesn't like the fact that we've got one thing of seed right there. It's only one thing of seed. I'll load that one up and put that in. And then I can do that. Yeah, just press N twice, and then that will put that in. And then we can go to this one, and I can load that one up. Yeah, now the others are going to go in just fine. Right, we shouldn't have any issues with these now. And the next one. Perfect. Right, so I've got $14,000 still, and I want to get a bit more fertilizer in. Now, this is... Wow! Look at the money dropping! Okay, that is like a... That's a serious money drain, that is. Do I want to go and get some more seed? No, I'm just going to run the fertilizer straight here. We'll just use our... we'll just do it like that. Okay. A bit expensive. It's a bit pricey having to do it like that, but, you know, I think it's something that we're just going to have to live with. Oh, unless, are we allowed any more money yet? No. Nope. We're not allowed anything else. Okay, we have got absolutely everything that we can get now, so we will take this one back up to the dealership, because I don't think the big bud is just not going to fit in round here. I'm going to struggle to take this one in and out of here. The big bud with the triple wheels on, it's just not going to be practical trying to get that one in around here, is it? It's sort of suited to certain areas of this farm, but it's not suited to the entire farm. So, yeah, we'll run this one back up to the dealership. And then once I've done that, I need to go and get the big bud. And I need to bring that one back down to... Well, yeah, I need to take that one back down to the dealership, and we need to return the plough. And then we need to get the cultivator, we need to get that one up to the top field, and we need to start doing the cultivating up there. Alright, we'll bring that one in there. I'm going to put this one just here beside the wall. I'm kind of hoping that we've got enough room there to get round everything. We'll soon find out once we get our big bud back down. And now we can go, yeah, helper H, got a nearly full grain tank. I thought that one would be getting full fairly soon. We'll go whizzing up there and we will go and see that one and get the grain offloaded. And then we can finally get into the big buds, get it back and get that plough unhitched. Like, we've been sat there waiting for absolutely ages, and we've been sort of toying with the idea that we want to do something with it, but we still haven't actually done anything at all. So we can get that field cultivated, and then we can get that field and the field that we're combining at the moment. We can get both of them planted. We've already got the field down the bottom planted. So there's all the planting then done, all in one big block. And then we'll be able to fast forward time a little bit and get on to the next bit. I know, I promised chickens. I know I was talking about doing chickens, and I haven't done chickens. I can still do chickens because we've got, like, a pile of money. Ooh. There. Right, that's what I want to do. I know it's not quite the way that we should have done it, but still, it worked. That's the main thing. It did work. We've got money, and we'll be able to get a pile more money with the silage, which is really good. And the amount of wheat that we're going to get off of this field up here. Right. I'm going to jump into that combine a minute. Here. I'll go like that. Fortunately, we don't have crop destruction on anymore. It's going to make our lives a little bit easier. So 94%. So we'll run this around over here and we'll unload this bit. Like that. Unload that into... There's another 16,000 litres. Slowly filling up this trailer, but we're still not going to have quite a trailer full on here. So the oats that we find, that'll keep the horses going for a little while now. We're minus $4,000 now. It's where we're using up, like, where we're using the least machinery. Every now and then it does do, like, a little jump in the price. There's not a lot that we can do about that. It's just kind of a thing that the leasing does. So we'll ignore it. And... am I going to be able to get all the rest of this into one load? I don't know. We might be able to. We might get all the rest of it in. I'm not quite sure. Helper C has completed their task. That'll be the planting down the bottom. So that truck can stay right there. And then you can start up here again. And that one's away. I know it's overlapping a little bit. That's fine. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. So I don't want you. You have... okay, I'm not really sure what you've done. I think I can see what you were trying to do, but I'm still not quite sure how you ended up in that particular position. That's, yeah. That's just one of the mysteries of life that I think we will never quite understand. But then I think that we will never quite understand hired help in general. It's another one of those mysteries of life that we will never quite actually get to. Okay, you can carry on and do what you're doing right there. And finally, we can get back over to this one. And I've got a little bit of... there's a couple little touches of the plough that we need to do just up through here, like this. Drop a bit down there and take that out. I know that there is a couple bits down the other end that the plough didn't quite get right, but I'm personally quite happy to leave them, because on a field of this size, I've seen people working massive, great big fields before. Even fields not as big as this, and they'll go over it with a plough, and there will be little bits of the field that they don't quite get. Like over rough ground, and they don't bother going back over it. It's like the amount of time that it takes to go back over it on a field of this scale. It's simply not worth the work of going back over and trying to catch those little tiny bits. It's just not it's just not physically worth it. So they don't. They just leave them as they are. So that's what we're going to do. We've done some little bits, we've done some little tidying up, but we're just going to leave it. Now, where is the train? can I get up round this side with the plough without it getting caught up on there? And how far away? Right, I don't see any sign of the train. But the big question is, can I get round there with the plough? I think I can. I can. And can I turn again? I can. I can do that as well. Fantastic. And I can also take another road sign with me. See, we're very, very wide on this, right? There is an awful lot of width on this beastie. It is extremely big, but it's still doing the job. We are still heading up the road. Now, if you were actually doing this in real life, obviously you wouldn't just go whizzing off up the road. Well, it does depend where you are, I suppose. If you've got enough room that you can pull off the side like that, rather magnificently it must be had, and majestically. That's the only word. If you're going up a road with triple wheels on a tractor something like this size, majestic is a word that springs to mind, for me at least. Definitely majestic is right at the top of my vocabulary when I'm looking at a word, something like this. Magnificent, majestic, and regal. Right, if you can just sort of pull over to the side in a tractor like this, just casually pull over like nothing's really going on. Right, you've got majestic, regal, and all the rest of it. You got that down to a fine art, haven't you? If you're able to just casually pull over in a vehicle of this size as you're going up the road by yourself, yeah, you got things going on that a lot of people don't. Right, there's no denying that. However, normally people would have an escort. That's what I'm trying to say. So normally an escort is something that would be used. Let's just unhitch that one there. And then I'll pull the old big bad beastie over here out of the way. And we'll go up to here. Right. First up, we want to return that one. Yes. Like that. And then I want to go here and I want to return the Gregoire Besson SPS L9. Yes. Returned. Job done. Right, now I will leap up to this one. I will carefully back myself around, do a little bit of maneuvering, because this is a very big tractor for a rather small yard here. And then we will go up here, and we need to get that flexi coil cultivator on. And we need to get that one up to the field. Right, Helper G has completed their task. Let me just tab over to Helper G. And we'll see if he has actually finished his task. Not even close. Okay. Before we get carried away with our new cultivator and taking that one up there and doing that, we'll finish this job off here. Because I have previously not finished doing the planting on this field. And that probably got me more comments leading towards Frith, I can't believe you left that, and more dislike. I was going to say hatred, but hatred is a very strong word, and I don't think it has a place. Not with these sorts of comments. More dislike, more annoyance. It probably annoyed people more by leaving the bits on the end there, the one time that I did, than I have with any other single action that I've carried out in this entire series. So I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to go right out to the edges. I may not go around the edge the first time and sort of go around and do that afterwards like this, just to tidy it up. So the tractor is driving off further than really we might want it to in order to be able to tidy things up. But that, I think, is acceptable. And it seems to be acceptable from the feedback that I get from everybody that watches. However, when I just left those bits unfinished at the end, yeah, that definitely got some backlash. I definitely had backlash from that. A lot of you didn't like me doing that, and you felt that I should not do that again. You thought that I was being lazy and cutting corners, and, well, I suppose it was rightly so. So I won't do that again. I will make sure that I do the jobs properly, like this. If we're going to do, as my grandfather always used to say, Wesley, if you're going to do a job, you may as well do it properly. Or, well, what he'd say is if you're going to do any job worth doing is worth doing well. There's no point in cutting. If you're going to take the time and the effort to actually start doing a job, then you can take the time and the effort to do that job properly. If it's worth doing it well. And you know what? The man had a point. very valid point. So let's bring you down here and we'll start folding this one up. And this could do with being washed and possibly even a repair job as well before we put this one away. So we'll run this one down here. And we'll see about putting this one down here somewhere. Something else that I'm thinking about. Let me stop there a second. Let's have a look at our map a minute. Right, we've got a great big combine up here. And yes, we've got an area over here at the biogas plant. Actually, we've got an area out here, haven't we? Because we own like a big section of land we own here now. We've got this, but this is all inside the field boundaries just about. I'm wondering where we could put a big shed. Like we could, maybe there's room up there. We could put a shed, but I'm thinking up here around the biogas plant. Maybe there is room to build a shed somewhere up here. Or even just, like, put some concrete down, like use landscaping and put a bit of hard standing so that we can store the big bud on that. Ooh! We've nearly finished the cut. There's a little bit up. You know what? We won't worry about that little bit up there, but we will tidy up the bits down this end. Okay, I was going to bring the big bud straight up, but no, we've just about finished with this one, so we can get this one going, and I'm even going to do it myself. I'm gonna go like this. I'm just gonna bring that one up this way, and I am going to manually combine this last little bit down through here. We've got that going up towards that triangle down there, and then this field is done, and it's only taken a week, which is not too bad, really, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things. So just lift that one up there, there, like that. That's what I want to do. And then lower you down and just take that little bit right there. Whiz on again like that. And then down we go again, straight into... I thought that I was going to get that front bit there. That little bit right there. I thought that I was going to get that. There. I did then. Let me go up to there. Right. See, I'm looking up here and I'm thinking, is there anywhere... There isn't really anywhere suitable for leaving it up here, is there? So, over at the biogas plant, somewhere over there, if we could build a shed or just put some hard standing over there, that would seem to be the most appropriate place to do it. So I'll whiz this one along here a minute, and then we'll lower down and we'll just grab that little bit, which is the last little bit. That's it. We're now done. And we'll shut the combine off. I'm going to bring that out. That's ready to unload. We'll deal with this first, and then we'll deal with the big bud and the flexi coil and getting that up to the field. So I want to get you, and hopefully I can get everything into this front trailer, and then I will leave the second trailer at the biogas plant before I... Oops, turning too sharp there. I'll leave the second trailer at the biogas plant before I run down to the farm with this lot, and we will stop at each of the horse pens and we will dump in as many oats as we can, and then the rest of it we can put into storage. So the horses will be absolutely maxed out on oats. They won't need any more at all, and that'll actually be oats done, I should think, for the entire series. We're not going to need to worry about them anymore at all after this. We'll put this one here somewhere. I'm not quite sure where we're going to put it. I'm actually thinking if we just put it across the road here on that area over there, that seems like it would be a good storage spot at the moment. I mean, it's either got to be there or we want to set it up all the way over here next to the biogas plant. But I'm thinking that we can store it over here for now, and then we'll worry about moving it over and getting something a little bit better set up later on once we've got a little bit more money. Because right now the other issue is that we also have a severe lack of money. So if we put that one on there like that, close that one down, and we also unfold this one as well, like that, lower it down, unhitch that bad boy there, and we'll hitch it in, then we can leave this one parked up here. It's not going to be in the way, and we don't have masses and masses of rainfall here, so it's not really going to cause us an issue like that. But, okay, I didn't actually expect it to do that. But anyway, it's still fine right there. Also, the other thing is that even if we did have a high rainfall in this region, you wouldn't necessarily worry too much about that just after the harvest. You know, it would be alright to leave your combine out. I mean, I know a lot of farmers in this country, or at least farmers in areas that I have previously worked, they would leave their combines out near the edges of the fields. Not that they wouldn't, like, get them put away immediately. They, you know, they wouldn't be blatantly left right next to the road, sort of asking people to come along and steal everything from them, because that would just be asking for it. But no, they would leave them, leave the combines kind of parked off out of the way, somewhere where it wasn't going to be in the way of anything too much, but also not too conspicuous, and they would leave them there until after the planting. Right? They would just park them up somewhere and leave them there without doing anything to them until well after planting was done, and then go back, get them, clean them all up, and put them away in sheds for the winter. Right, we will leave that one right there. Looking over here, you know, I looked on the map and I said that maybe we could put something up here. I don't think we're going to be able to put a storage shed here for machinery. Maybe we could put something over that side of it. But again, I don't really think we've got anything suitable here for machinery. So we'll get these oats back down to the horses and we'll get them fed so that they've... Oats is completely finished with the horses, and then we can see about getting started with the cultivating. I will say about last week's videos, I was talking about whether or not we should... Well, when moving to Oakfield was the first thing that I was talking about, and I mentioned Oakfield quite a bit, making the assumption that a lot of you wanted me to go to Oakfield because I'd been getting a lot of info about Oakfield. I think it's Oakfield. Is it Oakfield? This is where I find out that it's not actually Oakfield. But anyway, you know, the new Oxygen David map. The funny thing is, it's now come out, and a lot of people are saying it's, yeah, it's really great, but it's already been done to death. Every single person is doing it. And the general consensus of opinion is that you don't want me to do it. There are some people who would like me to go and take a look at it, but I honestly, the general consensus seems to be that you don't want me to go there because it's already being done to death. And that's the thing. The big name map makers, their maps are done to death instantly. It's like instantly it comes out and everybody hits that one as hard as they can, and you don't sort of get anything else. So it kind of backfires a bit. I mean, I don't know if it backfires for the map creators themselves. You know, it's good to have that kind of name. But certainly for me, from what people were saying, I don't think I'm going to be playing that map. I'm not going to go onto that one. I'm looking around for something that would be suitable. And at the moment, I'm not entirely sure what would be suitable. And what I have decided is that there's a couple of like stipulations that I'm going to make for the next map. What I'm going to make sure that I do for the next map. We're going to do cows in a big way. That's one thing that a lot of you want me to do, is cows in a big way. Also going to do pigs in a big way. And a lot of you have also been saying that you would... and this surprised me, to be honest. You don't mind Stevie mods sometimes, sort of when I'm doing other stuff, but for the most part, most of you don't want me to actually use them, and this does surprise me. It's sort of I was getting a different impression completely about the Stevie mods, and apparently most of you don't actually want me to use the Stevie mods. Some of you are happy with me to use them. Most of you would rather I had enough big-scale machinery, and that the main voice against them is not so much how quick, and you know, some people don't like them because they're unrealistic, and you know that's fair enough. But no, the big thing that I'm mostly getting about them is that I haven't done very much with the really big-scale machinery available in the game at the moment anyway. And because of that, most of you are saying you want me to use the big stuff that's available in the game, not using the Stevie mods, the accelerated stuff, avoid using those and just go for the big scale stuff. So the next map, we're getting a taster of the big scale stuff up the top here for this Ravenport series. We're not going to be going very much longer on this series. I don't know how much longer. A few people have said they'd like me to stay here until I've bought all of the land in the valley, and I could kind of scale up, and I could do what I've been talking about here on this map, but I get the impression that most of you would like me to move on. Me personally, I would also like to move on. A new map, a fresh bit of scenery would be nice to look at. So we're going to look for something big scale that I can do a lot of cows and a lot of pigs on, and massive scale arable. So we can have a big bud tractor running up and down, as well as several of the other big tractors as well, running up and down the fields, and they can be all sort of doing stuff in the background. And I get a strong impression from a lot of you that this is the kind of thing that you want. Some people were saying that you'd like me to go back to that format that I was using at the end of FS17, where I go to a map and I stay there for 4 weeks and I let you lot vote on the next map, and then we go to the next map. Now, I am going to be doing that at some point. I've still yet to kind of... I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to make that work in with the whole voting thing and how I make the videos. I will figure something out that should be fairly simple, and then we will be able to go back to doing that. And I do have plans to go back to doing that. I would like to go back to doing that, where we do a map for 4 weeks, and then you vote on whether we stay on the map for another 4 weeks or we move on to a fresh map each time. Money is not an object. We will go to each new map with several $1 million, and the idea is to farm the map and look at the map and not to worry about building money up from scratch. We've done the building money up from scratch. We're going to go to this one a minute, and we're going to clean this one off. We've done the building the map up from scratch. We did that on here, and we're also doing it in the Boulder Canyon, so we don't need to go and see that particular aspect of the gameplay again. So for this, once we've done the big scale map, then we will be doing that. That's kind of the plan. But I am going to do a big scale map first. Some people are wanting me to go straight to doing that, but no, I'm going to do a big scale map first, because there are plenty of people who have pointed out, quite rightly so, that I generally avoid the really big scale stuff. And you know, mainly because kind of the medium big, the kind of a step below the really big stuff, seems to be the most popular kind of stuff that people want to see. But I haven't really done very much at all with the really big scale. And there are enough of you here that would like to see me do that. I haven't done very much of it. So I'm going to do a whole series dedicated to big scale. It's going to involve cows and pigs. We will do the horses thing again, because I'm getting people's names on the horses. So that's, you know, the Great Book of Names is still going to have its place on the next series as well. So we will do that. I don't know how many horses we will do, but we will also include horses on it. So you'll have that, and you will have the very large scale arable, and you will have the very large scale cows and pigs. To that end, I will be using some Stevie mods. Now, not for everything. I will try to use mostly the machinery that's in the base game. But for things like making silage, we've seen when we were making the silage this time round that, quite frankly, the base game, you know, running the forager, it simply wasn't fast enough. It was a very slow and painful process. So using the Stevie mod to speed that bit up, I felt that was the right thing to go and do. And it's that kind of thing that we'll put something in, using balers as well. You know, if we're doing large scale cows, we're going to need a lot of silage. We're going to need a lot of hay as well, a lot of straw, and this is going to require... Well, there we go, folks. I'm afraid that's it. We've run out of time, which means that we need to head on home. So if you've enjoyed this episode, then please hit down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.